Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. In today's class, we are going to see yesterday's and today's important articles which appeared in our Hindu. So let's get started. Before getting started, I will tell you the important topics of the day, and later on we are going to see that from both prelims and mains point of view. At last, I'm going to give you even prelims practice questions so that you will be getting some idea like how the questions can be framed in your UPSC. Okay, let us say the important topics of the day. The first topic it is about Magi Utsav. If you are getting any images related to our culture, heritage, history point of view, that will become very important from your prelims point of view. So here we are going to see about what is this Magi Utsav, where we are celebrating, why we are celebrating, and what is the significance of this Magi Utsav. Our next topic is President grants assent to Rural Jobs Bill. Center list its 4 focus areas. As we know that from last 4 to 5 days onwards, we are discussing about this Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin, right? That is VBG Ramji bill. So finally, that bill got assent from our president, and now we are going to completely replace this MG Narega scheme with new Act NAV. And here you have to see about what are the provisions of this act. And actually, this bill got assent from the president. So now here we have to see about the clear-cut provisions, and for sure 100% there is a chance of getting question in your prelims regarding this. If you see in your 2024, there was a question regarding this women reservation bill, which got assent from the president in that year. And this is a major bill that is going to replace our 20-year scheme. So there is a very high chance, and keep star mark for this case. And students who are going to give this year prelims, for sure 100% you'll be getting question regarding this. Comparison between MG Narega and this new act, or else they may directly give the question regarding this new act. And this topic is important from governance point of view. Our next topic is Environment Minister reviews measures to address human-wildlife conflict. As you all know that there is increasing of cases of human-animal conflict. For example, animals like cheetah and as well as tigers, elephants, they are attacking humans, and that is causing concern, right? So to address this kind of issues, now Environment Ministry came up with some measures, and we have to see that measures. These measures you can directly use in your ethics case study, and as well as in your GS paper 3 in environment based questions. Also, if there is any question regarding this human animal conflict, how can we address that? Directly you can use these measures from this article, guys. And this topic is important from environment and ecology from GS paper 3. And from this area, you may also get a case study. Like your district collector in your area, there is increasing of human animal conflict cases. And many people, they are losing their life and as well as property, livestock, everything. So how can you address this kind of issues? What are the choice or what are the options which are present before you? Like that also you may get a question regarding this ethics and as well as directly from your GS paper 3. Our next topic is ISRO set to launch mobile broadband satellite and keep star mark, and this is also very important topic, and you may get directly a prelims based question from this area. And this topic is important from GS paper 3 under science and technology. Our next topic is speedy justice eludes consumers seeking redress against sellers. So as you all know that whenever you are purchasing anything on online or offline, sometimes the quality will not meet your expectations. And if you're going for giving in return, sometimes they will not accept the return because of the return policy, whatever it may be. So now this article is saying that if consumers are having any grievance redressal system, so we need to have the proper speedy justice. And this topic is important from polity and as well as GS paper to under governance point of view. And next topic is beyond the optics. This article is talking about our Prime Minister visit. Recently, our Prime Minister visited 3 countries. Which are those 3 countries? Ethiopia, Oman, and Jordan, right? So this article is talking about beyond the optics. It is not just the relationship between India and those countries, but beyond that, we have to get something from this visit. That is about this article, and this is important from your international relations. Already we discussed about free trade agreement that had been signed between India and Oman, and even we discussed about what is significance of Jordan, significance of Ethiopia in our earlier classes. So overall, we are going to see what we are going to get from this visit of Prime Minister to these 3 countries together. Okay, so these are the topics that we are going to discuss in this class. Okay, see this image. What can you see here? Something related to flowers, something related to garden. What is this Mysore Palace? Okay. Where it is located? Karnataka. Mysore. Okay, so actually this image which mainly showcase about Flower Show 2025, and you're going for a flower show in this Mysore Palace, guys. And this event is called as Magi Utsav. So have you ever heard about this word Magi, Magha Masam, like that? So what does it mean? Which season it represents? Which season it represents? Winter season, okay. So actually we are going to have a palace flower show 2025 in this iconic Mysore Palace, which is located in state of Karnataka. And it is organized as a part of Magi Utsav. Magi Utsav is nothing but winter festival. Okay, now this duration of this festival they are going to celebrate, it is around 10 days from 21st December to 31st December. And normally they will allow the local people to visit this between 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay? Yeah, underneath. So everyone, that is normal public. Okay, so who is organizing this event? Please make a note. This is organized by Mysore Palace Board under Karnataka government. So we discussed about prelims tips and as well as tricks. In that I said they will be having a tendency to change the organizers. They will be giving like one NGO or any other famous NGO in this Karnataka, like that they will replace that. But this Utsav is organized by Mysore Palace Board, which comes under directly Karnataka government. And if you see certain facts regarding this Magi Utsav, it derives from Kannada term for winter. And even in our Hindu calendar, we have this Magha month, which mainly symbolizes winter season or cold season. Okay, yeah. So what is significance if you're celebrating this kind of festival? What can we promote? First one is we can promote our culture. We can showcase our rich cultural heritage to normal public. It mainly showcases our India's intangible heritage through horticulture, and even different kinds of floral designs will be arranged there, and traditional arts. And actually Mysore Palace is also UNESCO recognized site for its Indo-Saracenic architecture and royal legacy. So recently one festival got this UNESCO intangible heritage list, that is Diwali. That means you have to make a list of UNESCO's intangible and as well as tangible heritage list in our country, and for sure you may get question regarding this list 1 and list 2. They will give you max the following type of questions from this area. And this year in your Nitin Singhania or what are the book you are reading, so see this tangible and intangible UNESCO heritage site. And even this Mysore Palace got that, and this event is going on there. So because of this they may also give this Mysore Palace and in which year it got this site list, like that they'll give you a question. And next one here is we can promote our tourism, and tourism is having a lot of potential for state's economy, right? So we can also attract foreign currency also through this tourism, so we can promote that. And next one here is environmental awareness. So whenever we are having a certain type of flora and fauna, whenever we are promoting them, obviously we can increase environmental sustainability, and as well as we can showcase our biodiversity conservation to the normal public. And next one here is this kind of events will also happen not only in this Mysore, even we can see in this Delhi's Mughal Gardens also. We have Amrit Udyan Utsav, and even other state flowers which also come up with this kind of Noida Vasant Utsav. So in this way, every state have their own unique things they will display, so that we can understand rich heritage of that state also. Yeah, that is the thing, guys. And see this article. See the title, President grants assent to Rural Jobs Bill. Center lists its 4 focus areas. So what is article talking about? This article is talking about MG Narega scheme. So what is this MG Narega scheme? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. We came up this in year 2005. So we are going for rural employment guarantee. That means in rural areas, government is going to provide 100 days of guarantee employment for rural laborers who are unskilled laborers. it is around 20 years, right? Now we are in 2025. It is implemented in 2005. It is around 20 years. Now, what happened in this 20 years? Lots of things had been changed. Governments had been changed, and because of this scheme, also certain changes we brought in the villages. So, because of this, we need to come up with a new scheme, so that this new scheme has to address the problems of villages at the present level. In villages, especially during certain times like sowing time or transplanting time or harvesting time, the people who are present in that villages, they will be getting certain employment opportunities. Only in the lean seasons, the people in these rural areas, they will not get employment. So that in that time, the people from this rural area, they will be shifting or migrating to nearby towns or nearby urban areas to get employment. So here, because of this, we came up with this new bill, and new bill name is VBG Ramji Bill. What is the full form? Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Bill. And what it says, so what are the provisions which are there with this bill? They are according to this 2025 needs of villages. Okay, what are the important provisions that we discussed in this bill? First one is, earlier they said only 100 days. Now we are going to increase that to 125 days. And next one here is, earlier it is completely central sector scheme. That is 100% of funds for this MG Narega will come from central government only. But now we shifted towards centrally sponsored scheme. That means now states also have to contribute for their implementation of this certain schemes. What is the contribution? 60 is to 40%. 60% of funds will come from central government. 40% of funds need to be shared by state government. And for hilly states and Himalayan states, it is 90 is to 10. 90% of funds will come from central government, and 10% funds will have to be bear by those states. And we have UTs. And UTs, we have two types of UTs. Some UTs will have legislative assembly. Some UTs will not have legislative assembly. And UTs which are not having legislative assembly, for those UTs, 100% of funds will be given by our central government under that scheme. So this is second major change which happened. So here you have to see in clearly about what are the provisions of this bill. And now we are saying that President gave the assent. So what is the process of formation of laws or acts in our country? So we have two houses. So first one is Lok Sabha and second one is Rajya Sabha. So what is the process of formation of acts here is, first MPs, Member of Parliaments, they will introduce a bill in one house first. In that house, they will go for DDV. What is this DDV? Debates, discussions and voting. After once voting is done, if they are getting certain majority, based on the types of bill, we have simple majority, special majority, like that. So based on that type of bill and which majority we need, after voting, once that bill is passed in one house, again the bill is placed in the second house. After bill is placed in the second house, again they will go for debate, discussion and voting. And if this bill is also passed in the second house, that will be placed before President of India. And President has certain choices. What are those choices? First one here is, he can directly give assent. Assent is nothing but the signature of the President. That is called as assent. And second one is, President can reject the bill. He or she may not sign. And next one is, they may reject this complete bill. Or else President can send back the bill to the House for reconsideration. That means nothing but if there are any changes which are like suggested by the President, they have to do, and they have to again pass in first and second house, and that comes to this President. And next one here is, we have pocket veto. Pocket veto is nothing but that bill will be taken by the President, but no action will be done by the President. So in this way, we have four choices which is present with this President of India after passing of this bill in these two houses. But now the present article is saying that President gave assent. Assent means nothing but president made sign on that so and so bill. And finally, with this sign, this bill will becomes an act. And now that act will be placed in this public domain and that will come into force now. That means we are going to completely remove this MG Narega scheme and we are going to come up with this VBG Ramji Act now, okay, which is providing employment in this rural areas. That means you have to forget this MG Narega, and from now onwards, if you are writing about this rural employment scheme, you have to include this VBG Ramji Act 2025. Okay, now let us see this clearly. President gave assent to Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin, that is VBG Ramji Bill, which will replace our MG Narega. So this MG Narega came up in year 2005, which came up by this Congress-led UPA government at that time. And if you see certain facts regarding this bill, it is going to remove this 2 decades old rural employment scheme. And the first important guarantee which is given in this bill is we are going to provide 125 days of employment now, which is going to replace this 100 days of employment which is guaranteed under this MG Narega scheme. And next one here is there is also one more additional provision under this MG Narega, that is additional 50 days in drought and disaster notified areas and 150 days for certain scheduled tribe households in forest areas. So even in this MG Narega also there are certain exceptions. If there is any drought or disaster in that area, they are going for giving of additional 50 days of employment, and in scheduled tribe areas they are going to give 150 days only. Okay, that is the thing that you have to remember. And next important point here is, as I said earlier, it is 100% funding will be given by central government, but now 90 is to 10% for northeastern states and as well as Himalayan states and UTs with legislature, and 60 is to 40 for all other states and UTs with legislature. And next one here is 100% central funding will be given for UTs without legislature. So like that they divided this funding based on the states and based on their economic conditions. And next one here is under MG Narega also state have to responsible for giving of unemployment allowances. So as you all know that if anyone in that rural area, if they applied for this MG Narega scheme, if they are not getting work under this scheme, so they have to get this allowances, right? Unemployment allowances for not giving work. So now this amount will be given by the state government only, not from the central government. So in that way, certain amounts which will be also paid by the states in this MG Narega, on this you may get a question, guys. Okay, first one, please make a note. MG Narega will not cover central funds from unemployment allowance, comma 1/4 of material cost and administrative expenses. So these 3 costs has to be paid by say state government only. This amount will be not given by the central government. That is the thing that you have to remember. Okay, next one here is what are the 4 areas we are focusing on. Please make a note. On these 4 areas also you may get a question. VBG Ramji Act is focusing on 4 major themes. First one is water security. Second one is core rural infrastructure. Third one is livelihood related infrastructure. Third one is extreme weather mitigation works. Okay, under this 4, the first one is water security is nothing but, for example, central government came up with one scheme called as Jal Jeevan Mission. Do you know this Jal Jeevan Mission? Under which government will be providing what? Tapped water to these households. So they are focusing on water security. And next one is core rural infrastructure. Core rural infrastructure is nothing but at least we need to have one primary healthcare center and government schools for the children, proper road facilities, okay, and even street lights, everything comes under core rural infrastructure. And next one is livelihood related infrastructure. So what is the economic activity of villages? We have agriculture. In this agriculture, after once harvest is done, So they have to go for drying of their harvest and storing of their harvest. For example, we need to have godowns and as well as certain areas where we can store this food grains. That will comes under livelihood related infrastructure. And next one is extreme weather mitigation works. For example, if there is any river which is flowing in that village, obviously what happened during monsoon season, there's a very high chance of getting floods. Or else if there is any lake here. So as you all know that in monsoon times, especially AP and Telangana, they are very much vulnerable to this floods because many a times the lakes and the ponds excess amount of water getting into them, and what happens suddenly the bunds will break off and the water will be entering into this areas where the people live, right? So if that areas is having that kind of disasters, so we have to spend certain amount of money to prevent that kind of disasters. Okay, for example, if any village which is well known for this drought like conditions, what can we do here? We can go for water harvesting mechanisms in that area. And recently, this Tinadabi. Tinadabi is very famous for implementing of water harvesting system in Rajasthan. So like that, they are focusing on this extreme weather mitigation works. So these are the 4 priority areas of this new act, guys. Okay, this area that you have to remember. Okay. And even one more thing here is whatever the plans they are doing, they will be integrating with this PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan so that we can have proper optimization and as well as different departments convergence can also be seen in this scheme. Okay, so these are the some important things that you have to remember. And now let us see the next article. Look at the title, guys. Environment Minister reviews measures to address human wildlife conflict. As you all know that what happened in Kerala recently people started protesting to declare macaque under vermin. Why? Because these macaques are coming and causing menace for these farmers, especially that leads to the loss of crop damage, everything is happening. And in many movies also you might have seen about this elephant issues. Elephant used to come into this crop area and that field will be getting eaten up by this elephants, and people will be using crackers to make them afraid like that. So here what happens here, especially wild animals, they are very cruel. So what happened, they will directly cause loss not only for the crops and fields but even humans also. And you know about this tiger, normally because of deforestation, because of encroachment of humans into this tiger habitats, and even we have certain tiger corridors where these tigers will move often in that routes. Because of that decreasing of habitat of that forest, they are coming into this human habitats and they are attacking these humans. So many people, they lost their life. And even Telangana is also having the fear of tigers, right? Many areas in this Telangana, they are in fear of tigers. So because of this kind of events, what happens, obviously that will lead to the loss of life and as well as loss of life of not only humans but even animals. I think many a times you might have seen like elephants, whenever they are crossing this railway tracks, so they will meet with an accident and they will losing life. So for that, Assam government came up with one plan called as Project B. They are using the sound of B sound whenever this trains comes near that elephant corridor, so that elephants are having fear of this bee. So as soon as they listen this sound, they will be going away from this railway track. So this kind of some innovative techniques they came up with certain state governments. But even though many a times there is increasing of human animal wildlife conflict is happening now, so here we have to control that. For that, our environment minister came up with some measures. Let us see those. And this topic is at most important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Okay, now let us see what are those measures. The first one here is human tiger conflict mitigation. As you know, the major threat here is increasing of number of tigers in our country. Because of this, there is increasing of human animal conflict is also happening. To manage this human tiger conflict, our government proposed 3-pronged strategy. That is nothing but the first one is we want to go for prevention. That means we want to prevent this contact between humans and tigers. Second one is response. That means immediately how these humans are responding or animal is responding to that situations. And this one is habitat management. So these are the 3-pronged strategy which came up by the government now. Okay, for this, our government launched a project called as Management of Tigers Outside Tiger Reserves. Please make a note. Keep heading human animal conflict. Under that, write down government came up with this project, management of tigers outside tiger reserves. Management of tigers outside tiger reserves. And this project is aiming to handle tigers outside their habitats whenever they are coming in contact with humans. And next one is they came up with all India tiger estimation and translocation protocols. That means whenever we are having the clear-cut details of number of tigers in that area, if we have to go for calculation of the amount of area which is present there and amount number of tigers there, whether that area is sufficient for the movement of these tigers or not, we have to calculate that. Based on that calculation, if the number of tigers are more in that area, we have to go for translocation. That means the areas which are having less number of tigers, we have to take these tigers from this area and we have to shift them to another area. They are saying about this translocation protocols. And this one is prey augmentation, very important. So why this tigers are coming out of their habitat if they are not having the proper prey? That means proper food and as well as proper water, then only they'll come outside, right? If there is abundance of this food in that area, will they come out? No. So here we have to see even how many tigers are there and what is the prey in that area. Normally tigers, lions are seen in this grassland areas, right? So in that grasslands, which animals will be there? Normally herbivores will become the prey for these top animals. So now again you have to see about this food chain and as well as food web concept here. As you know, one animal is dependent on another animal. That is called as your food chain, right? So here we have to see the food chain. So tigers are there means what is their food which is present in that proper ratio or not. We have to check that also. And this one is landscape level planning and even carnivore health management training. So actually what happened in 2023, because of this canine distemper virus, around 13 to 15 lions in India, they died in this Gir National Park. You know this Gir National Park in this Gujarat, it is a home for this Asiatic lion. But because of just one virus, it killed around 15 lions in India in 2023. So here there is also a chance of loss of the life of animals because of certain virus, certain microorganisms, right? So here we need to have a proper health management training also in that region. And this one here is, these are the things which are mainly said by the Supreme Court under certain guidelines. So here, because of this, now our government came up with this management of human tiger conflict mitigation. And second one is human animal conflict mitigation. So for this, they said that we need to have a detailed note on what is leading to this conflicts between humans and elephants. And this one is what are the mitigation measures we can take. And even they're going for thinking about what kind of compensatory mechanism, like if elephants are coming in a herd and if they are attacking any crop or field, obviously it will lead to loss for the farmers. So for that kind of things, what kind of compensation can be given? So all these things now Environment Ministry is working on. And this one is especially in the southern and northeastern part. You know, in this northern and as well as southern part, we have good number of biosphere reserves, national parks, and elephant corridors, everything, right? So even when we discussed about the map locations in our earlier class, I said about you have to focus on the south and as well as northeastern part where we have rich national parks and as well as biosphere reserves, everything. So here regarding the southern and as well as northeastern part, we are focusing on conservation plan for Nilagiri Elephant Reserve, and also we are going for captive elephants for better welfare. And even recently, AP government is taking the trained elephants from Karnataka. What is the name of that elephants? Kumki, yeah, Kumki elephants you are taking. So why this Kumki elephants plays a very important role? These Kumki elephants are nothing but they are also wild elephants, but they had been trained by the government and they know how to maintain, how to resolve this kind of human-animal conflicts like that. So now AP government is taking these Kumki elephants in their elephant guards so that they want to control this kind of human-animal conflicts. So like that, whatever the current affairs which are there in news, you have to integrate them as well. Okay, and here we are focusing on especially developing of captive elephants for better welfare and even certain reserves, whatever are there regarding elephant reserves, elephants population where it is high. So we are going for training of that elephants in that area so that we can minimize this animal conflict, human animal conflict. And this one here is they are also trying to include this elephant reserves or to maintain this elephant reserve by using this CAMPA. What is CAMPA? Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority. So actually what we are doing, we are going for development, we are going for mining, we are going for laying of roads, railways, whatever it may be. So we are going for removal of the trees in that area, in that forest area, and we are going for developmental projects. So what is happening because of this? It is creating huge loss, right? So here government is maintaining this CAMPA, that is compensation afforestation fund. That means if you're cutting one tree in this area, we have to go and plant in another area. That is called as CAMPA. So here we are also going to use this kinds of compensatory afforestation management fund for this maintaining of human animal conflict also, not only for replanting of trees. That is also one important thing which mainly said. And not only that, border government measures are also very important. As you all know that if you're taking any national park, will it present only completely in one state? No, for sure. It is present in like 2 to 3 states like that. And if you go to northeastern part of our country, if you have any reserves or any national parks, they are present not only in India, they are not only present in the states of India, but even some area will be shared by other countries also. So that means we need to have a proper border management between the states in India, and even if there is any reserve which is sharing with other country also, we need to have a broader management with that country also. That is a point which mainly said, because in the schedule 1 we have certain animals like tiger and as well as elephants. For that we are coming up with protected area networks. So here, if we want to make that project 100% successful, we need to have the good cooperation between the different states and as well as India and as well as other countries also. Okay, that's the thing which mainly said, guys. And here we are going to use certain technological and as well as community interventions. Now onwards we can implement. Please make a note. Now onwards we can come up with AI powered fencing system. So till today we use this electric fences, especially solar fences like that. So now even we can use this AI to manage this fences also. First one is AI powered smart fencing we can come up. And next one is radio collaring. What is this radio collaring? So if you have any experience of watching this Animal Planet or National Geography channel, in that animals will be tagged with some things like it is working with this radio channels like that, radio signals. So that is nothing but tagging of animals. So here we can go for tagging of animals in their collar. In their collar we can keep certain equipment so that we can track their movement. If they are crossing that certain boundary, we will be getting signals automatically so that we can make the people aware about that animal. And next one is we can go for e-surveillance. We can use electronic devices for proper surveillance. And next one is we can use drones also, and even thermal cameras. Do you know this thermal cameras? So normally if you see our body temperature will be like above, because we are warm blooded animals, right? So we are warm blooded, so because of this we will be maintaining certain temperature. In the same way animals are also like warm blooded, right? So here these cameras, if there is any animal which is passing nearby that camera, it will trap or it will have a track of that animal where it is going and how much radius it is moving like that. So based on the temperature of the body also, we can track that animal where it is moving in that so and so vicinity of that camera. So we can use this thermal cameras, and even we can go for acoustic sensing, etc. We can use certain technology so that we can control this movement of these animals. Okay, next one here is we can go for awareness programs, capacity building about this wildlife conflict management, etc. And we can take help of NGOs, volunteers, and even this forest officers who are working, and even guards who are working in these areas, so that we can effectively manage this wildlife conflict. We can reduce this human animal conflict to some extent. That is the thing which mainly said. So you have to work on these areas. Just what are the technologies that we can use to control this? So do search about further more advanced technology which is used by other countries also to control this kind of conflicts. Okay, make a note of that. And let us see the next article. Look at the title. ISRO set to launch mobile broadband satellite. And this satellite name is Bluebird Block 2 satellite. Please make a note. Bluebird Block 2 satellite. Very, very important. Keep star mark. And this time, for sure, you can expect a question regarding this Bluebird Block 2 satellite. Okay, let us see what this is about. Our ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, is going to have an upcoming mission. That mission name is LVMM6 mission, and this mission is going to place this satellite, Bluebird Block 2 satellite, into orbit on December 24th. On December 24th, ISRO is going to launch this Bluebird Block 2 satellite. And it is a commercial agreement between India and as well as US based system. And what is a satellite here is we are going to have direct to device internet connectivity. Nowadays, what is the problem with this communication system? Many of you are using this Jio or Airtel or any other network. So how will you get this network to your mobiles? So here different mobile companies will purchase broadband from telecommunication ministry, and they will be providing this kind of services to you. To provide services, we have Airtel or Jio, whatever it may be, they have to construct towers. Normally, I think you might have seen this kind of towers on the top of any house or any area. They will select and they will build that. So from that only you will be getting signals. But now actually this satellite is very special. Why? Because directly your mobile phones, after this satellite, when it comes into operation, you will be getting signal directly from space. There is no need of having this kind of towers. So because of this, it is very important. Because as you all know, I think you might have seen that movie. In one movie they will be showing like because of this towers only lots of birds they had been died. 2.0 robo only, right? Okay, in that movie you will be seeing this kind of events. So because of this towers only, because of the signals only, the bird population is decreasing, the biodiversity is decreasing. That movie depicts everything regarding this telephone towers and as well as loss of life of birds. So to reduce that kind of events, now this satellite will be helping, and this satellite will provide directly this kind of signals communication directly to your device. Okay, because of this it is very, very important. And you may get a simple question in your prelims like Bluebird 6 satellite is in use. What it is, or what is the advantage of the satellite, or else it is going to be it is a joint project of which and which country. It is India and US. So like that you will get a simple question in your prelims. Okay, this satellite is developed by US based commercial company called as AST Space Mobile for global mobile coverage, and the weight of this satellite is around 6.5 tons, and it is one of the heaviest satellites launched by ISRO. Very, very important. It is one of the heaviest satellite. Till today we didn't launch that much heavy satellite, but we are going to launch that by this year end. And it is going to be placed in which orbit? Low Earth orbit. You have to make note of this. It is going to be placed in low Earth orbit. And next one is it is heaviest satellites which had been launched by this ISRO till today. And next one here is the purpose is direct to device internet connectivity, and it developed by this AST Space Mobile of US. Okay, these are the areas that you have to focus, guys. And what is significance? It will enhance our global mobile broadband connectivity, especially in this remote and rural areas. Also, no need of having these towers. Directly devices will be getting this internet connectivity from this space by the satellite. Okay, so what is the future outcome? It will helps to remove the gap or decrease the gap of this digital divides, and we can also provide this internet access to the regions without cellular infrastructure, without any infrastructure like towers. Now we can provide this internet connectivity. Okay, let us see the next article. Title says speedy justice eludes consumers seeking redress against sellers. This article is talking about providing of confidence and as well as justice for the consumers who buy anything. For example, it may be from online platforms or it may be from offline platforms. You will be going to different malls and you will be purchasing the goods. And even sometimes if there is no time, if you think the time is getting wasted if I go to shopping, what will you do? Just you will open your mobiles and open the websites and you will be purchasing your goods in that, right? sometimes whatever the money you're paying and whatever the quality you got, you will be not satisfied with that. Then what happens? Sometimes you'll go for returning, but sometimes they will say the terms and conditions apply. So if you open this, we are not going to take this return, or else it is, if it is more than 3 days, we are not going to take this or accept this returns. So like that, what happens? Sometimes the grievances of the people is not cleared. So because of this, what is happening? The quality of providing the services is getting it is getting undermined. So because of this, this article is saying that we need to have a speedy justice for this kind of issues. Then only people will be getting confidence for purchasing either in online or offline. So that is about this article, guys. And here you have to know about one important act. Please make a note. We have Consumer Protection Act 2019. To protect the consumers across India, our government of India came up with one act called as Consumer Protection Act. And this act, which aims for speedy, inexpensive redressal via 3-tier commissions. We have district level commission, state level commission, as well as national level commissions. But what is happening here is, even if you're filing cases in this district level or state level or national level, the justice is not coming fast. So they are promising that they are going to give justice within 3 to 5 months, but sometimes it will also drag it to 3 to 5 years after filing of a case. So if you're not getting the speedy justice, can you have trust on this judiciary? Can you have trust on purchasing on this online platforms or anything? No. So here that is the thing which mainly said here. And why this article is in news is around 5.8 lakh cases are pending nationwide, even in this kind of commissions which are dealing with this Consumer Protection Act of 2019. So because of this, this is one issue now in India. I'm not talking about criminal cases or civil cases, only just grievance redressal cases of the consumers who are purchasing the goods in this online or offline platforms. They are filing the cases, but even though there is no proper speedy justice which is given, that is a problem here. And what are the key reasons for the delays? The first one here is vacancies. In state commissions, out of this 36, 18 lakh presidents, and even 62 members are vacant as per the data as per August 2025 in India. And at the district level, there are 635 lakh, out of 685, 218 were lakh. Around 518 member or vacancies here. And worst is seen in UP, Gujarat and Bihar. And this one is infrastructure is not there. Because of this lack of staff, and even courtrooms are not there, digital tools are not there. So because of this, they are not operating at the full potential. And this one here is there is procedure issues. There will be frequent adjournments and dilatory tactics, and complex cases need some expertise. Like that, we are having delays. And not only that, there is lack of awareness and access, especially rural people and as well as vulnerable consumers. They are deterred. And we have one portal to file these cases, that is called as e-Dakhil portal, which is underused. No one is using this e-Dakhil. So if you have any issues regarding this experience of buying something on online, you can file your case in this e-Dakhil. And this one here is especially online or offline small sellers. They have no proper, there is anonymity. So no one knows about them. For example, if you're purchasing anything on Instagram, so do they have proper company registration? If they are not having proper company registration, everything, again, we cannot go proceed legally. That is also one important problem in India because of rising of social media, purchasing, etc. Okay, so what is the impact on stakeholders if there is delay? Consumers are going to lose trust, and even consumers, they have to accept the loss. And next one here is sellers or business, they will go for continuing of this unfair business practice. Will they stop? If we are not going to give punishment on time, will they stop this? No. Again, they will continue that. And even there will be no transparency and as well as no accountability. And next one here is there will be increasing of furthermore dependency of people on this district level or state level commission. So that will lead to furthermore increasing of pendency of cases. And next one is who are the vulnerable groups here? Rural areas, elderly, women, they will be hitting hardest. You know, women, whatever they see in Instagram or Meesho, whatever it may be, we have a tendency to purchase it without thinking front and back. That is a common mindset of women. So here these people will be getting more and more vulnerable. Okay. And next topic here is beyond the optics. So this article is talking about our Prime Minister's recent visit to 3 countries. And I said that what we discussed, Oman and Jordan will be very important this time. Why? Why this time which is important? India and Oman relations, we are celebrating 70th anniversary this year. And this one is regarding India and Jordan relations, we are celebrating 75th anniversary. If you take out the PYQs, many a times the question directly asked on this Jordan map. So see all those questions and try to solve this PYQs of this Jordan mapping based questions, so that you will be getting an idea like how UPSC can frame a question regarding this Jordan. So that will be for 100% sure this year question about Jordan mapping. UPSC can ask Jordan mapping this year and as well as Bangladesh mapping. These two are like expected topics this year regarding maps. You have to be very much careful. Okay, now let us see this article. So this editorial is focusing on our Prime Minister visit. And this article is saying that it should not be based on international relations, and even it should prioritize our India's self-interest also. And this visit, which aims to improve our ties with global South nations, especially Jordan is there in this West Asia, Ethiopia is located in Africa, and as well as Oman in the Gulf. That means, as you all know, that India is going to be the leader, and India is showing that India is showcasing that leadership in this global South. That means here, whenever we are showcasing the leadership in any grouping, so we have to know about the countries well, and we have to understand the problems of that grouping together. So for that, this article is saying that recent visit of our Prime Minister to this Jordan, Ethiopia, and as well as Oman, which will provide the gateway for India regarding the larger regions. Why? Because if India is having good relations with this Jordan, so India will be always having the good relations with this entire West Asia. And this one is regarding Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a major country in Africa, and it is also the member of African Union as well. And even this MECOTS also it is the part of. So because of this, India will be having good access to that entire grouping if you are having good relations with one. For example, if you want to go to any other party and you don't know anyone, but if you want to go to that party, so is that possible to go to that party if no one is knowing to you? For example, if you have a good friend who is going to be the main person in that party, then what happened? It will be very easy for you to enter into that party without any invitation. Right. In the same way, if India is having the good relations with these key countries in different areas, obviously India can play a major role in that entire grouping. That is the thing India is focusing on. Because of this, our Prime Minister recently he visited these 3 countries, so that India will be having greater access to West Asia and as well as Africa and as well as Gulf countries. Okay, what are the key events? With this Jordan, we made agreements on renewable energy, water, and even we had discussions regarding this Israel-Palestine issue, and as well as IMEC economic corridor. And this IMEC, you got a question in 2025 prelims. So this year also you can expect. So you have to see the map of IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. In 2025 only UPSC asked question. Okay, why I'm saying, because in 2024 the themes which had been asked by UPSC, many are repeated in 2025. So in 2025 also, what are the themes they asked? They may repeat the themes. So one theme here is IMEC. So you have to see like that. And next one is Ethiopia. Regarding this Ethiopia, we had a good strategic partnership agreement and even trade, technology, knowledge exchanges, and even Ethiopia's AU headquarters and BRICS membership. So we are going to have good relations with this Ethiopia so that we can improve our connection with this entire African Union as well as BRICS as well. And with Oman, we signed this CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. And we said that we are going to have zero tariffs on 99.3% of Indian goods. And reciprocal also, India said we are going to decrease tariffs on your goods also. And even we came up with agreement to improve labor mobility. And we are going to have this free labor mobility for 4 years like that. We discussed all those things in our earlier class. Those things are just revise those things. And next one here is why India is having that kind of visit to different countries. What is the reason behind it is, first one is in this multipolar world, So we have developed countries, developing countries, and as well as least developed countries. So recently we formed one grouping called as Global North and Global South. Global North is nothing but the countries which are developed, and Global South is nothing but the grouping of the countries which are least developed and as well as developing countries. So for this Global South, India is leader. To showcase India's leadership for this Global South, we have to reach this kind of countries. And next one is we have to counter Western dominance in this global south, and as well as we have to focus on unilateralism. And even many countries, they are promoting United Nations Security Council reforms, United Nations reforms. For that, obviously, if India has to get this permanent membership in this UNSC, obviously we need to get the help of this all these developing and as well as least developed countries. So for that, India has to do this kind of visits. Okay, so here why India must push this vision is to strengthen ties with Africa, Gulf, West Asian countries to counter this Chinese influence. As you all know that China came up with one concept called as string of pearls. What is the string of pearls is about? Developing of ports in different countries so that China can increase its dominance in Indo-Pacific region and as well as in other countries. To counter this Chinese influence, obviously, we need to have good ties with other countries. And next one is we have to balance pro-Palestine stance with Israel ties to maintain credibility. As you all know that Israel, Palestine, they are fighting. And actually Israel is a good friend for India. Why? Because we are getting certain defense equipments from this Israel. For example, Barak missile we are getting from this Israel. So if India is changing the stand and if India says that we are pro or we are supporting this Palestine, will Israel will be happy? No, always this kind of issues we have to maintain a good balance. So with this kind of visits, we can showcase that we are neutral. We are not supporting this or that like that. So for this kind of showcasing of neutrality between the countries, yes, we have to do this kind of visits. And next one is we have to secure our trade corridors, markets, energy, and that will ultimately support our Viksit Bharat goal. So what is Viksit Bharat goal is about? We have to get this developed nation tag by 2047. That is called as Viksit Bharat. Till today, what is the status of India? Developing country only. So everyone, our great grandfathers, our grandfathers and our fathers and we generation and even our children generation will be saying that India is a developing country. At least the next generation has to say that India is a developed country. That is a vision of India. That is called as Viksit Bharat by 2047. To achieve this, obviously, we need to have good support from other countries so that we can increase our trade with them, so that we can improve our GDP, everything. Okay, and there is one article, guys. So just see this article. As you all know that we are facing this problem called as air pollution. Air quality is very bad in India, especially in this metropolitan cities. And recently we discussed one article. Even in our atmosphere, in our whatever the air we are breathing in, we are also breathing in this microplastics. Microplastic pollution is also seen in this air. So because of this, we have to control this air pollution as soon as possible. If you're not controlling this air pollution, then what happen? That will lead to the increasing of respiratory disorders. Not only that, even especially vulnerable peoples like children, elderly people, their death can happen. And even we discussed one article in the recent days that because of this air pollution, the babies who are in who are in this womb, they are not increasing their size, and even that leads to this early labor. That is nothing but preterm labor is happening in this pregnant woman, and as well as the weight of the babies will be very less than normal. That leads to this low weight babies. We discussed all those things. Because of this air pollution, lots of negative impacts are there. That means we have to control this air pollution as soon as possible. So to control this air pollution, so what are the steps taken by this Delhi government in the recent past? They banned crackers, traditional crackers. They promoted only green crackers. And even Supreme Court gave the guidelines that only in this time only you have to burst the crackers. But did we follow them? No. And even we have this CAQM, which will imports graded response action plan. We have graded response action plan 1, 2, 3, 4, and we implemented this fourth. What is this fourth? We completely banned this industrial activities, and even schools they shifted to online, and even there is ban on vehicles movement also. Even despite of these steps also, there is no control of air quality. And even recently we said that Delhi government is going for artificial mist generators also. And even they said they're going to have this cloud seeding, artificial creation of rains. So despite of all these steps, there is no change in the air quality. That means we have to take certain more steps to control this air quality. So for this article is saying that we have to learn lessons from China. So why we are saying that there is very high pollution in our country? Because of population increasing leads to increasing of pollution. There is a simple answer that we are giving, right? So China is also like most populous country in the world, like India. So how it is tackling this pollution? It is tackling pollution in a very different way. So here we have to learn from China. That is about this article. So here you can see just two paragraphs which are given here. That is very important. You have to make a note of it. After class, please read this paragraph. Clean air transformation. Beijing transformation was neither accidental nor incremental. So it focused on two major policies. Only they came up with two major policies. So because of these two major policies, they started controlling of air pollution. First one is the Air Pollution and Prevention and Control Action Plan. That is the first important policy. Second one is the Blue Sky Protection Campaign. So these measures focused on what? Top-down interventions across energy. They took steps in energy, transport and industry. So this strategy which helped China to control this air pollution. So what are the things which are included in this strategy? First one is they came up with a policy according to the needs and demands of China. And this one is strict enforcement. What is strict enforcement? They came up with the laws and they implemented. If no one followed that, if anyone not followed means strict punishment. That is lacking in our country. Strict enforcement. Next one is regional coordination. Coordination at the different levels. And next, Chinese government started expanding of electric mobility. Electric vehicles had been increased in China. And next one is shut down or relocated hundreds of polluting industries. So industries which are polluting, they had shut down the many industries, or else if they are very important, they went for relocating of that industries. And they replaced coal-fired boilers with natural gas. But still, in India, we are producing electricity. 70% of electricity is again thermal electricity. We are burning coal. And they imposed stringent China 6 vehicular emission standards. So we have BS standards in India: BS1, BS2, BS3, BS4, BS5, BS6. Now we are going for this BS6 like this China only. And next one is they came up with this, built one of the world's densest PM 2.5 real air quality management systems. They came up with this PM 2.5 real time, at that every second or every minute. So what is the concentration of PM 2.5? They came up with that kind of systems. Next one is they impose substantial penalties for non-compliance. And next one here is its coordination with neighboring Taiwan, Hebei provinces through a unified airshed strategy which ensured the regulation of transboundary air pollution. So even as you all know that the pollution which is happening in one area will be not there in that area only, it will be transmitted to other areas. So even they are having transboundary air pollution regulation also. Because of all these things, they tackle this air pollution in this China. So you have to make a list of those things, guys. Okay. Yeah. So this kind of things that you can use in your essay and as well as in your directly GS paper 3 question. You will be getting for sure air pollution related question, because this time we have cold wave and even very bad air quality in Delhi. Because of that, every day hundreds of flights are cancelled in this Delhi. That is creating a huge problem for the public, right? So here you may get a question regarding that. Okay. So you have to learn from China and how this China is different from India. So just think in that way. Okay, now let us say the prelims questions. Read out the statements, guys. Consider the following statements about the Palace Flower Show 2025 held at Mysore Palace in Karnataka. First one, it is an annual event organized by Mysore Palace Boards as part of Winter Festival to usher the new year. In 2025, the show featured a prominent floral replica of Sringeri Shardamma temple as one of its main attractions. Next, the event includes accompanying culture programs, doll exhibitions, and illumination of the palace every evening during the show period. Actually, these three statements are right. Okay, see this next question. Today I didn't make many questions. See the question, which of the following is the primary objective of Bluebird 6 satellite? Option A, Earth observation. Option B, direct to cell phone broadband connectivity. Option C, navigation positioning. Option D, weather monitoring. You will think, ma'am, why she gave a very easy question? Now it will be easy. In your examination hall, it will be difficult. So because of this, yeah, in this way also you can get a question in your UPSC, guys. So you have to be very, very careful. Okay. So that's all, students. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And if you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathod Science Academy. And you can follow us on our Telegram channel where we are providing the PDF of this class. And you can follow us on our Instagram page where we are providing current affairs in short, prelims question with answer, and also mains question with model answer. Thank you so much, guys.